Hi, my name's Brandon Tiemann. I'm a business major at Ivy Tech. I'm going to go ahead and show you my audience. That was my wife Melissa operating the camera there. I work for Schwann's Home Service. For those of you that aren't familiar with Schwann's Home Service, basically I'm a customer service manager, which is like a glorified way of saying that I drive around in an ice cream truck selling ice cream and frozen foods. If you haven't tried the ice cream, by the way, it's awesome. I suggest you try it. I'm married, of course. I've got two boys, Bryce and Seth. Bryce is 7, Seth is 4. I've also got two sisters. One is married, the other engaged to be married. My oldest sister actually brings her 2 children over here, and my wife babysits them. So they spend a pretty significant amount of time here. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my career, but before I do, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about myself, where I grew up. I was born in Lafayette, Indiana, when my dad was attending Purdue University. Shortly after earning his degree, he started work at McDonnell Douglas in St. Louis, Missouri, so we moved to St. Louis. It was actually while he was there that he did something that I'm pretty proud of. He actually was on a team that designed parts of the AV-8B Harrier fighter jet, the fuselage, the vertical thrusters. If you're not familiar with the Harrier, basically, if you've ever seen the movie True Lies, it's the jet that takes off vertically like a helicopter. Shortly after designing the Harrier, he actually left McDonnell Douglas, was transferred over to Magnavox here in Fort Wayne. So we moved to Fort Wayne, which is where I've actually lived most of my life. I was not really a very social person growing up. I didn't have too many friends. I was bullied a lot as a kid. Kids had a nickname for me, Brandon Teapot. It used to drive me nuts, but I kind of laugh about it now. My wife back there, Melissa Teapot. As a result of some of the bullying and lack of much of a social life, I played a lot of video games growing up, so I'm kind of a game head. I've probably beaten over hundreds of games over the course of my lifetime. I think I've probably owned every system out there, ever since the first Nintendo Entertainment System. In school, I wasn't really an overachiever. I actually enjoyed English and literature, however. I really loved Shakespeare. I liked Edgar Allan Poe. But I always struggled in math. I was terrible at math at first. In fact, I remember many nights when my dad would sit up with me and help me with my algebra and how much of a struggle that was. In fact, I can recall a summer when I had actually taken a summer school class in order to get into the honors block at Northrop High School. It was a difficult time. I actually had to spend most of my summer vacation doing math problems. In fact, when we went to South Carolina and stayed in a cabin in the woods, I did most of the time I spent on my homework there. When I got back, unfortunately, during the second summer semester, I was placed in the wrong class. The teacher actually was using a different book, and so I was, needless to say, completely lost. And from that point on, I've always been, pretty well. I've always been pretty well afraid of any kind of math. So, anyways, as far as my career goals are concerned, as I said before, I haven't really had much of a social life. And of course, now isn't any different. As a driver for Schwann's, I spend the majority of my time working. I don't get a lot of time to spend with my family. So my career goals are kind of oriented around a particular goal, and that's to find something that is fulfilling financially, but yet gives me enough time to spend with my family and be a family man like I want to be. So that's my main goal. I'm not really sure exactly where I want to go with my business degree, but I know that it involves working with people, ironically. When I was in high school, actually, Of course, didn't have much of a social life, but right out of high school I began to work jobs that really required people skills, and that's kind of how I learned them. So now I'm pretty good with people, and that's actually the best part of my job. I meet a lot of good people working for Schwann's, but the hours are killing me. So I'm doing this, going back to school, trying to get my degree so that I can find something that I can juggle a little easier with my time. In closing, I'd just like to say thank you for letting me share a little bit of my history. I hope you all have a great semester.
Yay!
Is that good?
Good job.